Have you ever wondered things like, why do ducks have webbed feet but chickens don't? Why do owls have such big eyes? Or why are cactus leaves actually sharp spines? It turns out scientists ask questions like these all the time because when they look at a plant or animal, they're often wondering, why is it built that way? Hi, I'm Tina from Little Monsters Universe, where I share simple, practical ways to help kids explore, observe, and think like scientists. This video is part of my NGSS Made Simple series, where we are breaking down the big ideas behind science learning into simple, everyday experiences you can use at home or in the classroom. Today, we're exploring one of those big ideas: structure and function. So what is it? Structure and function is the idea that the way something is built helps it do its job. A structure is a part of a plant, animal, or other object. Its function is what that part does. Scientists often ask, why is it shaped that way? Or, how does that help it survive? For example, a duck's webbed feet help it paddle through water. A cactus has spines instead of broad leaves because they help reduce water loss while also protecting the plant. The structure helps explain the function. In our last videos, we explored how scientists notice patterns and ask what causes changes. Structure and function takes that thinking one step further. Instead of asking what happened, kids now begin asking, how does this part help? They begin noticing that living things aren't built randomly. Almost every part has a purpose. That shift helps children look more closely, ask better questions, and begin understanding how plants and animals survive. The great thing is, you don't need a science lab to explore structure and function. Next time you're outside, slow down and look closely. Instead of simply saying, look at that bird, try asking, what do you notice about its feet? Why do you think they're shaped that way? Or maybe you're looking at a pine tree. Instead of just noticing the needles, you might ask, why do you think these leaves are long and narrow instead of big and flat? You can sketch what you notice, take pictures, or compare different plants and animals. The goal isn't getting the right answer right away. It's helping kids begin connecting how something is built with what it helps them do. Let's take a look at what this looks like at each age group. For younger children from kindergarten through second grade, the focus is on noticing and describing the different parts of plants and animals. You might compare a duck's feet to a chicken's. Feel the difference between broad leaves and pine needles, or look closely at the shape of a bird's beak. Then ask simple questions like, what do you notice? And what do you think this helps it do? At this age, it's less about finding the right answer and more about helping children make the connection that living things have different structures, and those structures help them do different jobs. For children in 3rd through 5th, the focus shifts to comparing structures and beginning to explain how they help living things survive. You might compare cactus spines to broad maple leaves and think about why each plant has different kinds of leaves. Or compare owl feathers to goose feathers and wonder how each helps the bird live in its environment. You could even look at different types of seeds and ask why some have wings while others have hooks or fluffy parachutes. Encourage kids to explain their thinking by asking questions like, why do you think it's shaped that way? And how do you think that helps the plant or animal survive? At this age, children begin moving beyond simple observations and start using what they know to explain how a structure supports a particular function. By middle school, students begin connecting structures to larger systems, environments, and adaptations. They might compare shark teeth to human teeth and think about how each is designed for a different diet. They could investigate why woodpeckers have strong beaks and long tongues. Or they can compare evergreen needles to broad deciduous leaves and consider how each helps the tree survive in different climates. Encourage students to support their ideas with evidence by asking things like, what evidence supports your thinking? Or how might this structure be an advantage in this environment? At this stage, students are using evidence and scientific reasoning to explain how the structures of living things help them survive and reproduce in the environments where they live. One of the most important things kids can learn is that living things are full of solutions. Every feather, every leaf, every beak, every root tells a story about how that organism survives. When kids begin asking, why is it built that way? They start seeing nature in the way that scientists do. And what's really amazing is that scientists and engineers have learned a lot by studying those structures. There's even a field called biomimicry, where people look to nature for ideas to solve human problems. From bird wings inspiring airplanes to burrs inspiring Velcro, nature has led to some incredible inventions. So when kids begin looking closely at how plants and animals are built, they're not just learning about nature. They're learning how careful observation can inspire new ideas, creative problem solving, and future innovations. Structure and function is one of the major cross-cutting concepts in NGSS because it appears throughout life science, engineering, earth science, and even physical science. Scientists are constantly looking at how something is built and asking how that design helps it work. It's another tool that helps students make sense of science across many different topics. So the next time you're outside, slow down and look closely. Notice the shape of a leaf, the feet of a bird, the bark on a tree, or the petals on a flower. Then ask one simple question. Why do you think it's built that way? That single question can lead to some incredible scientific thinking. If you'd like more simple ways to support your child's learning, make sure to follow along. I'll continue breaking down more science concepts into practical, everyday ideas you can use at home or in the classroom.